right, ladies and gents, back on the pod. I think it's our first one for 2021. So, happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year, Ian.
Happy New Year. Yeah, it's good.
Good to have you back and have our listeners back as well.
Yeah, definitely. Had a few pings to go. You guys still on for 2021, or has COVID got you?
Another bankrupt small business.
Yeah.
Except we just do this for passion. We're not really getting paid for this, so
Yeah, that's it.
this is just for fun for you guys. All right. Well, in terms of what's been happening over the last week and a bit, firstly, I just want to touch on our star index and mainly Steph. There's been a fair bit of chatter around the fact that he's not really built for, one man,
Carrying a team.
one superstar carrying a team. And I think Warriors struggled a little bit, but he's answered the chatter. I mean, with a massive 62 points against the Blazers.
Yeah, I know. What a beast. He just went all beast mode then. And it wasn't just, just all threes. He was doing everything.
Absolutely. He got really hot. He got really hot. 60's a big number, so that needs to be celebrated. Um, and yeah, I think the Warriors are now 5-4, so they've actually come back fairly well after a bit of a horror start. I think they're fifth or sixth in the West.
Yeah, fifth. Same as the Jazz.
Yep, yep, yeah. So I think they're working things out. Obviously with Draymond coming back as well, they're getting really good minutes from James Wiseman, the rookie. It looks like Wiggins and Kelly Oubre's adding a little bit as well. They got off to a little bit of a
Yep.
poor start from a 3-point shooting point of view, etc. But looks like it's a nice little team for the moment.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's good watching them play, having Draymond back because he adds that extra, pass in their play, which they like to
Mm,
do.
yep, that's right. Um, and while we're sticking to the stars, let's just go through some of them. LeBron, steady start, averaging 24, 7.5 rebounds, assists, I should say, and about a steal a game as well. But I think Lakers off to 6-2 start at the top of the West with Phoenix. Given it's his 18th season, short
Yep.
preseason, I think he's probably right where he needs to be.
Yeah, and AD's been out a couple of games too, so look, it just shows LeBron's longevity. Oh, jeez.
Going strong. The
Yep.
man's still going strong. All right. James Harden, I think he's still scoring. Uh,
He's still scoring. Yep.
he's got couple of 30-point games, got a 44-point game, and 17 assists in one of those games. Well, he might be carrying a little bit of extra weight, but man, this guy can score, man. There's no doubt about it. Um,
Yeah.
and other stars we can touch on. Um, I think Joel Embiid's off to a pretty good start. 25 points and 11 rebounds a game. That's a great stat. And you know, he's playing like an MVP right now. And the way they should have been structuring up Philadelphia and going through him as much as possible is what they should have done in the last year or two. But they're playing the way they should, and as Embiid as their key man.
Yeah, definitely. He's always been their key man, and it's just because of that scoring power that he's got, right? And yeah, he's just such a good player. Just got to stay healthy.
Yep. Yeah, he's got to stay healthy, and he's got to get star quality game from Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons. So yeah, look, they're looking pretty good. Other stars I wanted to call out: Bradley Beal, name we probably don't call out too often, mainly because
Mm,
Washington's just been so shit for so long.
they're still shit.
But he had a 60-point game as well. Didn't get as much press as Steph, but he had a 60-point game. I think they still lost. Wizards are 2-6. Him pairing up with Westbrook, but he's one of those guys that's well into his career that's just kept improving. So yeah, and he's leading the points as well in the league.
Mm. Yeah, like I think he was always been in the shadow of John Wall over there, and at the moment it's sort of like his team, with Russell coming in as an outsider.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely his team. At the moment, I'd personally love to see those two work things out. Um, but yeah, it's yet to be seen. They're almost like identical sort of players. So um, let's wait and see how it plays out.
Mm.
Hey, one other player I wanted to call out, um, Jalen Brown, man, another guy that's really taken a step up. I've been a really big fan of his um, over the years, and averaging 26 points a game. So he's taken a huge leap,
Yeah,
and I think he's almost the equal of Jason Tatum now. So it's going to be interesting how. I hope they don't develop any sort of friction between the two of those guys because, yeah, I think they're equally as good.
yeah. Well, watching them, they've got a great little dynamic. The way they play, the way they are on the court and off the court. Even you see them playing around on the sidelines when they're both off. Um, they've got a great chemistry together.
Yep.
Yeah, they were lucky because they played Bradley Beal just yesterday. Beal finished off with
Yep.
41, almost tried to do another 60.
Big numbers, man. Big numbers. Hey, you know what? Let's just call out a couple other people while we're at it. Kyrie Irving, man.
Mm,
Good numbers. 27 points a game, 6 assists. Off to a great start, but Nets are only 4-4, which is a bit of a worry.
mm,
Honestly, like I saw the first game Nets that beat down on, I think it was the Warriors, and I
yeah,
called out straight away. I said, "Oh, these guys are going to come out of the East," but I'm not so sure anymore. I might have
yeah.
gone a little early on my prediction, unfortunately. Um,
Well, yeah. Well, they're 5-5 now, and I think the last game, Kyrie went
yeah, he didn't want to
missing.
play. Just that he didn't feel like playing.
Didn't travel.
That's Kyrie
Yep.
for you, right? You got to expect the craziness that comes with him. There's a lot of
Yeah.
craziness that comes with him. So yeah, that's our man Kyrie. And last one, and before we move on to the Clippers, is Paul George. Good numbers,
Mm.
25 points a game, about 5 assists a game, couple of steals or 1.5 steals. Um, he's been solid, but yeah, the problem with this team for me is that these fade outs right at the end. There was a huge fade out yesterday
Mm.
against the Warriors as well. I think 25 points thereabouts that they were up, and they just wilted under pressure when the Warriors came. You know, just gunned on offense. For me, it's a bit of lack of leadership, is what it points to. Paul George and Kawhi, they're just not
Yep.
demonstrable sort of players on the court, right? And I don't think they're very vocal either. So it's going to be an ongoing problem for those guys.
Yeah. Like they interviewed Kawhi afterwards, and he was saying how, oh yeah, the team have to change. Well, you've got to call out what needs to change, right? Um,
Mm.
you can't just blow a 22-point lead like that. If you're going to do that in the finals, yeah, might as well say goodbye.
Yeah, yeah. They need to sort that out because it's a weird dynamic. There's something missing in that chemistry, and I personally think it's leadership, being being a strong presence. Even if Ty Lue's a great coach and would fill that void from a leadership point of view, I think one of the players needs to be that. And Kawhi's their best player. You know, he's doesn't say a lot, Kawhi. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, Ty Lue, I don't think he's that vocal either. He's not a pop type of coach.
interesting case study. The Clips will keep watching those guys. Um, hey, wanted to talk about the Corona
Yep.
stuff that's happening as well.
Yeah. Well, it's fucked over the
Yep,
Sixers. Um, they played. I think it was today or
against Nuggets.
yesterday. In Denver, 7 players. Um, it was actually 6, I think, because I think they had Mike Scott or someone who they had to put him on the list because they wouldn't let him play otherwise if they didn't have enough players. And Doc said, "You look, NBA probably should have postponed that game because, his son-in-law got the corona."
Yeah, half the teams are in quarantine. So, but it's one of those ones that a lot of teams are going to be faced with, right? I think
Mm.
Houston had the same problem early on at the start of the season. They did postpone a game, but KD got corona or exposure to it, so he's being quarantined.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen. It's just too hard to, I guess, keep postponing these games over and over again.
Yeah. Well, Denver's sort of, Michael Porter Jr., your mate.
Mm.
He's indefinite because he's got
Right.
it. So they're sort of like quarantining him. And I always thought about this, going, when you quarantine, how long do you put him in there for? Like, do you just keep testing until it's gone? But if you don't have it there, is it still contagious?
I think
Who
they've
knows?
got minimum 10-day quarantine protocol up to 14 days. My thing is, man, imagine keeping an NBA player in quarantine for 10 days. These guys would go bananas. They'd be so used to
Yeah.
doing,
Well, he's missed 4 games.
yeah, they'd be so used to being out and about, doing crazy stuff on the road. So, yeah, it's like a little sentence for them. No doubt. Yeah, I mean it's a bit of a dirty word, but it's impacting the season. So let's hope.
Yeah. Well, we were saying, I think just last time we recorded and wrapping up for 2020, saying it's gonna definitely have an impact, even though they're rolling out the old vaccine. The vaccine, all it does is reduces their symptoms, right? And these guys they're healthy, so they don't actually need the vaccine, right? Like, even if you have it, it doesn't stop you from passing it on either.
Yep, but they need their vaccine rolled out across the world, mate, so we can all get on with our lives. Oh, jeez. But let's not focus too much on Corona because the rest of the world's talking about it.
Yep. Well, let's go to the big game.
Yes.
Brother versus brother.
So, I mean, that's going to be pretty cool, right? Playing against your brother for the first time. Great little moment for those two guys.
Yeah. He was 1 assist shy of a triple-double, little LaMelo.
Yep. Who do you think's the better player from what you've seen from LaMelo versus what you've seen from Ball, I suppose, over 4 years now? 3 years?
At the same age, I think LaMelo is a better player. If you look at, Lonzo when he was that age versus LaMelo is definitely better.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got a few more tricks in the bag too. In terms of his ball handling, passing, probably less issues on the shot than Lonzo. He doesn't have a great shot either.
Lonzo had that weird, I don't know how you call it, the way he holds the ball, right? And he sort of fixed that later on. But yeah, if LaMelo had got that extra assist, he would have been the youngest player to get a triple-double.
Yep, that's it. So yeah, it's cool to see. Just wish the third brother was in the league, but unfortunately got cut by Detroit, and the dad went nuts.
Did he even play? I don't think he played.
He got cut. He got a 10-day contract, right? I guess they can say one day that we all made the league at the same time, even though he got a 10-day contract. You never know, man. Like, I don't know if you remember, but Seth Curry struggled to be in the league for a while. He was in and out a little bit. He was sort of right at the end of the bench with a couple of teams. But look at him. Now he's a solid player in the NBA. So you never know. Jello?
Yeah, I think it depends on the person, right? Seth, you look at him, he's the type of guy that if he gets cut, he's going to work on his craft and get better. If he doesn't go in the corner and sulk about it, then I reckon he'd get a chance too.
Yep. Yeah, look, Jello, I hope he makes it. It'd be cool to see. The middle child,
Yeah, we ever had 3 brothers in the game
well,
at the time?
the Holiday brothers.
Yeah.
Drew, Justin. I don't know. Whoever else, man. There's a few
Yeah,
others. I think there's three.
yeah.
They don't get a lot of coverage.
But they're the big age gap though. Those guys, I think,
Yeah, yeah,
between the oldest.
yeah. They do, they do. Um, hey, before we close out, I wanted to have a chat to you about the favorites in the
Yep.
East at this stage.
Hmm.
I said earlier that I thought Brooklyn, after one game, that they're going to come out of the East. I'm unsure now because they're being a bit,
Because of where they are.
been a bit shaky on defense. I think they can play better defense. They should.
Yep.
They've got DeAndre Jordan, the guy with the big throat. I've got a memory blank now, but the other center, Jared Allen,
Yep.
Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie's out for the season. That's a huge loss, but
Yeah,
I'm
man.
hoping they can overcome it.
I love the Dinwiddie.
Love it. Yep. Too bad. Too bad. He's out. Partially torn ACL. So
Oh.
he's out for the year. So yeah, I still think they will come out, but they're making me a little nervous. But what about Milwaukee for you?
Um, I don't. I don't think so. I think
Yep.
there's still going to be a team and beat them down the track unless they can show me that they're going to win down the stretch. They haven't really shown anything different to me in
Mm.
the 9 games they've played. What what surprised you is probably the Pacers where they're sitting at the moment.
Oh, yep. Good old Pacers. They always surprise you. I mean, they always have a good record, right? They play hard, but
Hmm.
as we know, when it
Well,
comes down
well, they
to
took Brogdon, so and Brogdon, like he's been animal lately.
Brogdon, oh, okay, yeah, the
From
point guard,
he left the Bucks, and he's got a star on his own now.
yeah, yeah, he was a good player at the Bucks. I think they probably still miss him from the time they let him go. Um, and also Victor Oladipo's back as well, right? So I mean, he was an all-star before he did
Yep.
his knee. So it's good to have that kind of talent back.
Yeah, so they've got 3. Sabonis is been pretty good as well. Like they've got all types of players now. So you got the Euro, you got these two. Brogdon is a good defender as well as a scorer. Yeah, and then you have Victor Oladipo as well. He's a big time
Mm.
player.
What about a little smoky? You're talking about Indiana. What about Atlanta Hawks? Any chance?
Mm-hmm.
Not quite.
No, they'll probably make the
Mm.
playoffs given how weak the rest of the competition
Yep.
is. But yeah, I don't think they'll get out. They would. They don't look like they'll get past Boston or even the Bucks or Sixers,
Mm.
just to
Mm.
name a few.
Yep. Oh, it's good to see Trey's averaging a ton of points again, 28 points. They've got Bogdanovic there, Danilo Gallinari, so some good shooters. So yeah, I think they've got the scoring punch. They probably just need that defensive stance from DeAndre Hunter, who's I think only a second year player, plus John Collins. They're still quite young.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Well, he had a breakout season. It was probably a couple of years ago, John
Mm.
Collins, and then he's been a bit quiet.
Yeah.
Like he's serviceable, but he's not. Like how he
With
was 2
Trey
years ago.
coming in, I guess his numbers from the offensive side has probably dropped away a little bit, but he's like that 3 and D athletic power forward, so they definitely need him. Um,
Yeah, yeah. They've also got Clint Capella, right? So it's a decent team.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, also the team that goes without much discussion at the moment is Miami Heat. Obviously made the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty quiet, right? I mean, they've got off to a pretty rough start. Um,
Povo start.
I'm not sure if Jimmy Butler's done much. I think he's been hurt his ankle there a little while.
Yeah, I haven't seen him play. Maybe one game.
Yep. And Bam has been
Yeah,
quiet. I'm not sure if he's got that money, so I'm not sure if he's taking the foot off the pedal as well. So
yeah,
yeah, they're definitely. I mean, we all know they overachieved by times by 10, right? So for them to match
yeah.
that's going to be
It
difficult.
was huge. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to change with all the travel and the quarantine and what they can or can't do. Yeah. Whereas in the bubble, they could still stuff around, but they didn't have to be as careful when they're out and about.
Yep, yep, yeah. We'll wait and see, but I'm definitely not expecting for them to make the finals this year. They overachieved. They had a great season last year.
Yep.
All right. Before we finish off, tool of the week. Do you have a tool?
I haven't seen any toolish behaviour. Have you? You got one? Yep.
I've got a tool. My tool is Draymond Green. On made a little funny little dance, hop, skip, move to his
Mm.
teammates, and it was kind of funny. I think our listeners probably know what I'm talking about. So a lot of memes going around about that. But he's my tool. But it also goes to show, man, that guy's
Yeah.
intensity. He makes sure teams playing hard.
Oh, if you're gonna give a tool,
He's
you'll probably give it to Kyrie for just saying no, don't want to play.
true that. That too. I agree. That's just Curry being Curry.
Kyrie. That's why I was like, it's not really a tool. It's just Kyrie. All
That's it. All right, guys. Well,
right,
thanks for tuning in.
definitely. Well,
And
tell your friends, subscribe. Hit us up on Patreon and help us out, or
share our page as well. Share our page.
share a page.
Nice.
And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Absolutely. Peace out. Adios.